If someone told you they were going to tell you the story of a boy raised in the community of Goat Shed, Arkansas, who grew up to be a pilot who could fly almost anything, it would sound like the beginning of a fantastic tale. Well, it is. A fantastic tale about a boy who made it from the family farm in Lincoln County, Arkansas, to the top shelf of aviation. John Robert Bob Blankenship was born February 23, 1952, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. While just a toddler playing in his yard on that dusty Delta farm in the community of Goat Shed, Bob Blankenship recalls an event that would impact him for a lifetime.
I'll never forget that day on that southeast Arkansas farm out in the yard. I couldn't have been more than 5 years old when this cutback J3 modified Cub came flying over the house, dusting the field, cotton field right next to my house. I thought that was the most awesome thing that I'd ever seen. And all I could do was do whatever I had to do to be close to it.
He got his primary education at public schools in tiny Grady, Arkansas, and soon after high school he began his flying career at Pine Bluff's Grider Field, working at various jobs. After getting his pilot's license on his 17th birthday, he began work crop dusting and was employed by Ag Air. He began what would eventually lead to over 40,000 hours of career flying time. He went on to get a commercial pilot's license on his 18th birthday. He was already building what was to become a spectacular career in aviation. Blankenship was a highly skilled ag pilot and crop duster, and since that meant he was nearly a stunt pilot by profession, he decided to also begin flying the air show circuit. This also started at Pine Bluff. In his so-called granny act, Bob would land his J3 Cub on a modified rack mounted on a pickup truck as it sped down the runway. The plane landing on the truck was an instant, huge hit, and he was in demand at air shows across the country. He also flew aerobatics in his modified Stearman he called Old Red. This act developed to include his then wife, who would ride on a wing while Blankenship did low-level aerobatics. After several years of ag flying and stunt show flying, Bob decided to pursue a career in air transport. After he got his type rating in the Boeing 737, he went to work for Southwest Airlines. He was the pilot of the first commercial airlines flight to Cuba after 56 years of banned flights during the Cold War. Blankenship remained with Southwest Airlines until the age of 65, when he was retired by the FAA's 65 and out rules. But it didn't stop the man who could not stop his greatest love, flying. He continued his long flying career after the Southwest Airlines retirement, flying a Dassault Falcon jet in a private capacity.
I've been asked many times what my favorite aircraft to fly is, and my answer every time is whatever airplane I'm in at the moment. I've been fortunate to fly many different types of aircraft, and it's hard to pick any one aircraft. But if I had to pick one aircraft, I'd have to say the J3 Cub.
Bob's friends speak glowingly of his kind nature, his flying ability, and how he always took time to help others and instruct others in spite of a near constant flying work schedule.
Bob is quite accomplished person, quite accomplished pilot. Bob is in excess of 40,000 flight hours, which few people achieve. One of the things that's also impressive about Bob is the aircraft type that he's certified to fly. Bob can fly anywhere from a J3 to the Falcon jet to a Boeing. But he's also flown a number of World War II aircraft. So he has a type rating list that's very impressive. But also one thing personal about Bob, again, me being the kid hanging on the fence, he always took care of the kid hanging on the fence. And for aviators, that is something that is very important.
Bob Blankenship acquired numerous type ratings during his long career, including the Douglas A-26 Invader and C-47, bought Corsair, North American P-51 Mustang, and Grumman TBM Avenger. The list and the accomplishments keep going. So what does this man remember most?
Of all my accomplishments in aviation, my favorite accomplishment is being able to teach and mentor younger pilots to go on to become professional pilots, crop dusters, corporate pilots, all the way up to airline captains. And it's just, it gives me a great amount of personal satisfaction to know I had a very small contribution to their careers.
John Robert Bob Blankenship, a humble and loved man, a grounded man, took his career and his love of flying off the ground and soared into Arkansas aviation history.